All right, y'all. Welcome into LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Brian, here with my brother Matthew, and we are moving into Game 3 of the NLDS between the Dodgers and the Padres, tied 1-1. And depending on who you asked before this series started, that would either be a great outcome, it could be a terrible outcome, or that would be the hopeful if we just go 1-1 and we show that we could do something. There's so many different ways to look at it because Dodger fans were so down on the team because they haven't really given us anything in the last 2 years to be happy about or hopeful about in the playoffs. And I think that's the biggest talking point. I'm going to toss it to you. You can go wherever you want with it. But generally, what I'll say to kick it off is I don't know how to feel about the series. I don't know if like my voice is a little raspy because we actually went to game one. It was an incredible experience. I was getting loud, so it was super fun. And that was the game that showed, hey, maybe this team is different. We have a bunch of new players. Teo and Shohei showed up the way you thought like these new guys, new energy would show up. And that was incredible. And game two, Flaherty doesn't even, he's not horrible. He's not great, not good. But we get the 2022-2023 Dodgers. Offense was lifeless. There's nothing there. And I won't get into it too much for tossing to you, Matt, but it's really just like a tale of two teams in the first two games. What are you seeing?
Yeah, honestly, it may be a different opinion, but this is what I expected. I feel like everything that I've expected to happen happened, and that's down to, Yamamoto struggling in his first postseason outing, postseason outing, which I really did expect. We've seen it with Bueller, with Miller. Rookies just don't really perform for us as pitchers, and down to us struggling against you because we saw all year long. So there's nothing that surprised me too much. Fernando Tatis just can go crazy, and there's guys like that: Shohei, Harper, Judge, Tatis. Like when they get in the zone, they're one of the best players on the planet. So to me, just to break it down, what we saw in two games, there were pros, there were cons. I think the biggest thing in this series, from what we've seen in these two games, like you said, it was a tale of two games. The biggest thing that I am looking for is I just hope that this was the Dodgers not being able to hit you Darvish, not the Dodgers, choking again, not the Dodgers being unable to hit with runners in scoring position. I hope this is a you Darvish thing and not a Dodgers playoff thing. And at this point, I honestly do think that because of how we performed in Game One, we were down 3-0. I believe it was a Dodger record. We've never won a playoff game down 3-0 in the first inning, and we did it. And the biggest part about that was it was the new guys. It was Otani, it was Teoscar to show like, okay, this is a different team. The game felt like it was a different team. But, the big thing, Dodger fans have been worried about was the starting pitching, which wasn't great. I'll get into that in a separate video. But I think Yamamoto will be fine. Like I said, postseason, first start, that's always bad for everyone, or everyone who's a Dodger. And he just didn't have the splitter working. He gets the splitter working, he locks in. I trust him to be good. Flaherty was this close to being like an okay outing. If he would have finished the six runs, 3 innings, it's like, okay, that puts us in a position to win the game. Flaherty's role in this team is keep us in games, put us in a position to win the game. I think those two guys can step up. I think that this offense just struggled against a particular pitcher. I don't think it will be as frustrating as it was in the past. So I think that the Dodgers are in a good position. And essentially, what you have is you have a 3 game series against a team very, very evenly matched with you. And that's why I'm not mad about 1-1. These two teams are pretty even, so it's what I expected.
Yeah, like I fully agree that these teams are incredibly evenly matched. The intensity, which we'll bring up later, is stupid high. Like splitting 1-1 is not a failure on the Dodgers' part. It's not the ideal option, but I'm not going to be like, how could you lose a game to the Padres? Obviously, they're good. I think it's more so that actually, I guess we can get into it now. The off the field stuff currently feels like it's fully 100% in the Padres' favor. They somehow created this Manny Machado leader victim narrative from them talking to the fans all day. By the way, never throw stuff on the field. That's horrible. I hate that. But just the fact that like they're constantly antagonizing the fans, and then after that happens, they continue to do it, and then now they're like the victim. I don't know. Just like everything externally is going the Padres' way. Padre fans already hate the Dodgers. It's going to be psychotic at Petco on Tuesday. And I think the Dodgers can. They've won there before. There've been crazy high energy matchups, super high stress pressure. Not in the playoffs, but like it's not impossible to win because all you have to do is win one game of these next two to take it back to Game Five of Dodger Stadium. But it just feels like the like soul crushing, not like fan soul crushing, not for the players. Just like we had this energy where it's like we changed, like kind of the new people they brought us in. We've been focusing on that so much. I even made a full video just basically about that. If the new hitters can hit, we can win. And then the fans, I think, is the biggest thing where it's like we saw them revert. Well, again, we saw what we think is them reverting to old playoff ways, which it very much could just be you Darvish has the Dodgers number, and he does. But I don't know. It just feels like the momentum is building towards the Padres from everywhere except for the actual baseball field. Because after it was 4-1 and Michael Grove came in, like the game was over. And I think Roberts for sure knew that because at 4-1 you can still win. We just came back from 3 runs twice in the game one, or like 3 runs and then 2 runs. But it felt like Freddie had to come out, which is another thing we have to talk about. Um, and then Grove and Henriquez came in. Like that at that point it's a moot point. It's just thinking about like I don't know the swing factors, and it depends on if you believe in them or not. I don't think the Dodgers believe in them because they're so analytics based, and analytics is the exact opposite of vibes based, and that's I'm doing a vibes based analysis right now. But yeah, you don't have to get into that if you don't want to. But just like generally, do you have any thoughts about like the concept of momentum going into this game?
Yeah, momentum is huge, but and I agree 100%, but it could be flipped with one swing of the bat and like,
Yeah,
just like that. We saw with the Phillies, no one in the world has more momentum than the Mets, and the Phillies were down 3-0. It looked like they were booing, and just like that, their MVP Bryce Harper turned it on. We just had the
that's
momentum,
true.
and look what the Padres did. So I think I've already covered, what happened in these past two games. I think the second game, everything about that felt like a loss. Even the way
Yeah,
Roberts managed everything. And you know who you want to talk about momentum and vibes and whatever. Walker Buehler embodies everything about, like the toughness of the Dodgers. And so you give that guy the ball, all of the, elite bullpen arms, they are rested. That was the beauty of this being a blowout. That we didn't have to use the good bullpen guys. So I think that everything that I saw, all the runs in the late innings, doesn't matter. Those guys don't really matter to us in a clutch game. It was against a great pitcher in Yu Darvish, which historically we cannot hit. So those two things tell me this was like a scheduled loss. I mean, we talk about how even this matchup was. There was no way this was going to be a sweep. So this isn't as bad of a loss, I think, for the players and Roberts as it is for us as the fans.
yeah, that's definitely fair. So back on the field, you mentioned him. I think honestly, a lot of I guess we're going back off the fan worry is that we do have Walker and Knack slash bullpen game, probably more so bullpen game than Knack. I weirdly share the same confidence in Bueller that you do. And it's not like a confidence that, oh, he's going 6, 7, he's going to shove. It's more so that I know he won't fold. He might not have his stuff, which is going to be brutal, and it's very possible. But I know without a shadow of a doubt, he will be ready to pitch. He's ready for that moment. And it's very comforting knowing you have that. It's just a crapshoot if he's gonna have stuff or not. Like if he's gonna be able to put people away with 2 strikes, he's gonna get to 2 strikes. We have to hope that he's not throwing 28 pitches in the first inning. Yeah, I don't know. But you talk about one swing momentum. I think the most important top of the first inning is Game Three by far. Like the most important inning the Dodgers have had in a very long time. I'm talking years. If they can go out and put up even just run, but like change the narrative immediately, go up on them the same way they just did on us 2 games in a row, and give Walker a reason to feel confident. Like, hey, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna win this game by myself because I'm already up before I even step on the mound. This can be me. I'm gonna change the season right now. That is possible. Like, that's why, as much as I personally want to be pessimistic just because like it's safer for fans to be like, oh, I'm not expecting anything, they suck, whatever, just to like not feel upset. I genuinely believe there's still a team that can like immediately flip the switch. Like they just have to show on Tuesday that it's not that Sunday was an anomaly.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'll say is Walker Bueller. He will be ready. I mean, he's done this his whole life. He is itching to get out there. I know he is. I'm maybe a bit biased. He's my favorite pitcher I think I've ever seen besides Kershaw. But you know, with Yoshi, he was a rookie. Flaherty's never pitched in the playoffs for us. Like we were unsure of how they would handle things. We know how Bueller will handle things. It's just gonna come down to will he have the stuff.
Yeah.
But his adrenaline will be pumping, his focus will be up, and we know he gets better in these situations. He just has to be good enough to give us an opportunity to win the game. Our bullpen is set up, our offense can perform. If those three things happen, we can win. The very last thing, this game, if we win this game, as crushed as we are right now, as much as the momentum was squashed, it will be that, but times four for the Padres. They have their ace going. It's their first game back at home, and they all have their feelings hurt because they think Dodger fans are the worst people in the world. If we win game three, it will crush the fans. It will crush Melvin. It will crush that Padres team, and it puts you in a situation where you just got to win one of the next two. A massive game.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as a to round it out, point about Bueller, yeah, NLDS clinching game. He had one of his most rough starts in this little stretch. Literally one start before against the Padres. He went 5 innings, 1 run, only one. Like he didn't even have good stuff, but it was a big game. He knew what he needed to do. He got us 5 innings, and we won the game. I feel that he has that with him, and I know you do too. And I don't know. I just as much as there was potential for doom and gloom, and I did kind of get into like the outside feeling kind of shifting towards the Padres. I really do feel like there's a chance, and the Dodgers will still win this series. So yeah, we'll be back. I know Matt said he has a starting pitching review, kind of breakdown or at least talk analysis type video coming out very soon. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll be back with more Dodger content as the series provides. Go Dodgers, and let's win Game 3.